Welcome, that's right, to the Australia and New Zealand 2023 Hot Wheels Legends Tour. We are live around the world. I haven't seen you digitally in quite some time. I'd love to be there. It's midnight here in Los Angeles, but we are partying 5 p.m. in the future. I'm Jared Deanna. I've had the pleasure of announcing Formula Drift for, oh my gosh, 20 years. I've announced Nitrocross down in Baja in the desert, across the globe, and I love New Zealand. I love Australia. I was in Australia just a few weeks ago. Well, guess what? The Hot Wheels Legends Tour is back, and the big trophy is who will be immortalized as a 1/64th Hot Wheels diecast. Well, we are celebrating down under Australia, New Zealand. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell your friends. Tell them log in right now. We're live. We are live right now. Thank you so much to our partners, Big W and The Warehouse. Big W and The Warehouse, big partners of ours, where you can, of course, go and buy your 1/64th Hot Wheels diecast. Now, this is a worldwide search, right? So we are scanning the globe. Again, like I said, I was in Australia. Next weekend, because we're going to be in El Segundo at the Hot Wheels headquarters. And again, the worldwide search is for the custom vehicle worthy. And we'll talk about the criteria in a little bit. But everyone is competing to make it to the grand finale, where the winner is forever immortalized as the next Hot Wheels 1/64th diecast cast model, inducted into the Hot Wheels Garage of Legends. Did you hear that echo? Oh, it's epic. It's so good. If you're tuning in from Australia, make sure you can head over to their website, bigw.com.au. Or if you're in New Zealand, thewarehouse.co.nz. I'll say it for you guys, NZ. We can ask Mad Mike about it. It's not, whatever, I'm joking. I speak American, I apologize, I have to poke a little bit of fun. But again, you can log into those websites for the latest Hot Wheels range, and of course, you can pick up the special Hot Wheels Legends Honda S2000. There it is. Oh, I'm holding one. Yeah. I was in Arizona last weekend. The line for this was longer than Mad Mike's autograph line. I mean, I've never seen a line bigger. It was amazing. So this is the Hot Wheels S2000 right here. I mean, we all know how iconic that vehicle is. And we also have some other Legends Tour product available, including the Hot Wheels Legends Tour Team Transport Vehicle. Oh, look at that. Oh, what? And Rennsport is going on this weekend up in Northern, oh my goodness. That is pretty sweet. I'm gonna, Oz, you got one for me, right? Doyle, somebody's got one for me. That's our production team. But you can check that out. And the Hot Wheels Legends themed multi-pack is available. You can see right there. And these are both available at either Big W or The Warehouse. Again, pending if you're in Australia or New Zealand. So you guys submitted your cars. We've whittled it down to 10 vehicles and some late submissions. So I'm really excited to see these vehicles and who's going to show up. So the finalists from this round of our Hot Wheels Legends Virtual Stop Tour, coming into the World Global semifinal, we'll find out who will represent the semifinal on November 2nd here, USA time. So again, if you're watching in Australia, New Zealand, it is November 2nd. West Coast time. Stay tuned. Check your local listings. Check your Instagram. Check your social media. Hot Wheels Official. You know how to do it. So again, for a chance to have their car immortalized as a Hot Wheels diecast. So here's what's coming up as far as a lay of the land and what is going down here today. So we're going to talk about meeting the judges. Who do we have on our panel today to scrutinize the vehicles? Again, 10 vehicles. And you guys really represented. You really represented Australia, New Zealand. I don't want to allude to too much, but obviously thank you to the Big W, The Warehouse. Thank you so much. Previous Legends winners. We're going to take a look at our preview of our contestants, the 10 vehicles that made it. Our judging criteria. What are they scrutinizing? What are they looking for? We'll get to that in just a little bit. Excuse me. Our contestant judging, submissions recap, our final deliberation, and of course, who wins here this evening. All right, now it's time to meet our judges. First and foremost, she's the only female here, and is that oil in your face, or I mean, you're in your garage. She was a little bit late. She said her setup yesterday, we did a little check, make sure comms are good. She had a vehicle behind her. Now it's just out of screen because she's working on it. Molly Taylor is joining us. Molly, thank you so much for joining us. You are fresh off a weekend from Sardinia, Extreme E champion last year. You're a busy gal, but what's the biggest accolade, outside of being here with us on Hot Wheels Legends, what's the biggest thing that you've basically experienced in your career?
To do on that. But oh gosh, the biggest thing, that's so hard to pinpoint, I think, when you get to travel to so many different places and do cool things. But the Extreme E Championship that I'm doing at the moment, winning that in 21, definitely a highlight. So trying to do that again this year.
I apologize, I said 22, so I apologize. 2 years ago, but I have to list them off. So you're being humble, but Australian Rally Champion, European Ladies Champion, Peter Brock Medal, one of the most prestigious awards in Australian motorsports. That's what you meant, right? All of those things?
You're going to make me blush.
Oh, well, I'm going to make you blush with that 10W30, right? I mean, you're a busy gal. Molly, thank you so much for being here again. All your accolades speak for themselves. And again, I know you're a car gal, so excited to get your insight on what vehicle you love the most. So thank you so much.
Can't wait.
All right. Next up, love this cat. We have yet to share a tattoo. He has no tattoos on his body. We're getting one this year at Mad Mike's Summer Bash, first weekend of December. We're going to party down there. I don't think this man needs any introduction. I'm holding one of his what is this car? We didn't have this in the States. The Cosmo Sport, Mad Mike Woodette. I mean, New Zealand Drift Champion, Goodwood accolades, just a proud husband, father, curator, spokesperson. But I mean, he's not, why are you so mad, Mike?
I don't know. Well, the name came from when I was riding dirt bikes and flipping upside down and doing seat grabs, and then obviously breaking too many bones, and then moved into building cars.
2 wheels to 4 wheels, regardless. You have a bunch of bulls in the stable at the Mad Lab. That's where you're at. You're building so many really cool cars. Rad Bull, Mad Bull, a Hum Bull, you know, from drifting the Lamborghini at Goodwood. You got recently, this last year, acknowledged by Goodwood Festival Speed saying, Mad Mike is a legend amongst Goodwood. How cool was that, man?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously coming from the moto into, you know, drifting was what I could afford. I could, you know, build cars and express my own style and personality. And I felt like drifting was like perfect because it's not about who's got the fastest car and the biggest budget team, and a bit like the Hot Wheels Legends Tour and having that garage spirit and just being able to utilize the tools you have, the accessibility, what cars are local and present. And then, yeah, to be able to go up there to Goodwood Festival of Speed, get labelled, you know, the Revelation of Festival, not just showcasing my partners, my team and our cars, but showcasing our sport of drifting to the highest level of motorsport. So it's an absolute honour to go up there and be recognised in the UK.
Yeah, and you've done such a good job of it, you know, from side-by-sides, 2 wheels, 4 wheels. And again, you talk about expression, and, you know, most recently we talked about this before we hit the live button, about how cool it is to see your car on the team transport. You posted it. You haven't even seen and held this thing physically, but it's super rad to see your old RX on the back of this thing. And you know what? And you talk about how important of a role Hot Wheels played in your life, but there's somebody else that Hot Wheels played a major role in their life because you passed on your Hot Wheels to somebody who is also joining us. And it is your son, Lincoln Woodette, is joining us. Link Woodette in the building. Oh my gosh, look at, you've grown up so much in a year. Holy cow, your hair has grown. You've grown taller. You look great. Lincoln Woodette, you most recently won the National Off-Road Championship. You broke some bones along the way. Lincoln, yep. Again, I've seen you grow up. I remember seeing you at the Red Bull Drifting World Championship in Mike's kind of backpack thing, and now here you are winning national championships. How important of a role has Hot Wheels played in your already, I mean, still young life, man?
Well, yeah, I'm just real fortunate enough to be able to have my actual drift car as a 164th Hot Wheels, so it's really sick to be able to have that. And
I'm out of here.
Definitely supported me a lot from when I was like the age of 6 doing off-roading, so I've definitely played a major part in my career.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's so cool, Lincoln, to have that opportunity that your mom and dad have created for you. Even your little sister, she's racing now, Jet Woodette. And I mean, you're surrounded by motorsports. So I didn't expect you to be a, what's that sport? Oh, cricket, or football player, right? Like, again, Mike, I know, you know, you always said that, but Lincoln, I'm so proud to see you and your career. We know each other personally, but again, Hot Wheels, man, it's so cool to see, like you said, your MX-5, you have your event going down there, Mad Mike Summer Bash, first weekend of December. But go ahead, publicly, do you want to thank your dad for all that he's given you?
Yeah, just very fortunate enough to be able to have everything I have and be able to chase in Dad's footsteps, hopefully be able to compete against him one day.
And beat him. Sorry, you forgot that. And beat him.
Yeah.
All joking aside, Lincoln, thank you so much for joining us. Again, congratulations on, as you say, your vehicle being immortalized. And that's the opportunity we're looking for here. So thank you so much, the Widette boys, for joining us here. And again, from the Mad Lab and from the Mad Sim. I don't know what you call that over there. But the house. Joining us, this gentleman, we have not met until yesterday, but I looked at his Instagram, and I love art. I'm inspired by art. That's why I cover it all over my body. Also, by the way, this is the RTJ Run the Jewels 4 shirt, Volcom Hot Wheels collab shirt. If you didn't see it, there it is. Look at, see, perfect timing. I'm going to introduce him right now, Jesse Wright, but I just call him, he just goes by Jess Rye. Jess Rye, thank you so much for joining us here. Love your artwork. How big a role does Hot Wheels play in your life? And I assume you're a car guy and you're ready to celebrate and you're ready to customize Hot Wheels yourself.
I'm all for it, man. I feel like I've been reminiscing over the last few days about how Hot Wheels actually has played a part of my life. You know, as you grow older, you kind of lose the little things. And I feel like part of something that's kept me intact my whole life, my whole career, is my imagination. And I wouldn't have my imagination if my mum didn't buy me Hot Wheels cars as a kid. And I had these cars, and I literally think these sparked my imagination to go off-road, to drive on the couches, to take everything, and to be in love with like the little tiny intricacies of a car, to have flames where you couldn't really imagine before, to have these bright little vibrant vehicles. And as a kid, you're like, I wish I could have a car like this. So I literally kind of like spined my career off trying to do the best kind of creative things I ever could do based off these little cars I had when I was a kid. So I feel like it's definitely played a massive part of my career, whether I want to admit it now or later. But yeah,
I'm thinking we do a competition. It's a car show, 1/64 scale at Honeybone's Gallery, and everybody customizes. Right?
I feel like that's on the money right there.
Honeybone's Gallery is something that you curated. Again, you've created NFTs, taking a look at these Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe. You've really given back to the artistic community, and again, celebrating, Australia, and everything that you do is kind of, you're trying to create this kind of, I don't know, this honey hole of what you're trying to do, right? I mean, it's really exciting to see artists get their platform. If it is NFTs or if it's something more physical, I mean, look at Hot Wheels. Here's these diecast, 50 plus years, still making NFTs. Have you seen those? The NFT Garage? The Hot Wheels that they're... Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, no, I'm definitely stoked to be here. I'm stoked to be a part of the team. I think having the opportunity to step into something like this is something I thrive to do. And on the note of the community thing, like the honey hole, it's something I learned fairly on is, people don't necessarily buy your art, they buy you, and the art will come as a product of that. And I feel like a lot of what I do is I sell my personality, I sell myself, and people buy onto that. And so as a bonus, I get to sell the community. I get to sell Honeybones as a social activity. I get to sell as a place to be. So yeah, we're more than a gallery, and I'm more than an artist. I get to be here as a creative and judge some amazing cars here. So I hope that some of these cars actually inspire artists like myself to lift up and actually do some really cool things.
Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Australia, celebrating all things Oz, and that's what we're doing here. Australia, New Zealand, automotive culture. So thank you to our racers, our artists, and then somebody in the building right down the street here. We did a check yesterday, and I'm like, oh, what happened to your cool background? He says, I just remembered it's midnight here, and I have neighbors. I might not want to wake them up because I'm so excited to be here. So join us here, current staff designer in Hot Wheels. He joined us last year for a Hot Wheels legend since 2007. He's worked in El Segundo. Kevin Cow. Kevin, thank you so much. But not a bad backdrop. Weird flex, but you got some sweet tracks and some sweet cars back there. Anything you worked on behind you that you could brag about, Kevin?
You know what? Since we're doing the Australia show, I actually brought out one of my first designs. Ford Falcon Super GT8 race car. Back in the days, all-time classic, all-time favorite race series that we don't get in the States. So kind of a little history for me here to bring that back. And obviously, the late Shane Warne, I actually designed a car for him. I met him in Melbourne live, so it was a great experience for me to go down there, one of my first business trips. So it was a really awesome experience.
Dude, and again, looking at your accolades here, you're in charge of the Hot Wheels Racerverse.
Yeah, I mean, brand new line we just came out.
Yeah, what is that? What does that encapsulate for all our Hot Wheels fans out there who are obviously everybody, but yeah.
So it's pair character based. I do have an example. So it's a brand new line of vehicles and characters that we just came out with, along with track sets. Here's an example. We have Grogu sitting in his little pram. It's full track compatible cars that you can race on your Hot Wheels track or Racerverse track. So it's a brand new segment of lines of vehicles and characters that we're doing for 2023.
Bad Baby, no squeezy. Sorry if anybody's a Star Wars fan out there or a Grogu fan. I think a few people got that out there. Kevin, thank you so much. I know you're a racer as well. You rip around your Mustang GT. You're a big two-wheel guy as well. Keep it safe. Keep it on the tracks. But Kevin, you're a big racer too. So you got to be stoked amongst these folks as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm among legends right now. It's gonna get lost.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you again to our judges. Again, Molly, Mike, Lincoln, Jess Rye, and Kevin. So thank you so much. All right. Now that we met our judges, check out our previous Legends winners because they're going to be among, again, the legends, right? The Garage of Legends, that is. So our first winner back in 2018, we're talking about the 2Jet Z. Now, Luis Rodriguez kicked things off in a grand way because this car right out of the gate said Hot Wheels. I mean, you see this thing, open wheel, 2Jet Z, you get the idea. If you know engines, you know that it's a 2JZ engine. And what's really cool is now you've modified it, had some different deco. Then into 2019, went a little bit old school, some oversized wheels with that Nash Metropolitan. If you don't know what a Nash is, this is a 1957 car, father-son, Greg Salzillo. Look at that, it transfers so well to a Hot Wheels. Now this vehicle, yeah, it's white, but guess what? This thing is so awesome. I love this vehicle. Give me the keys. Riley Stair, this 1970 Pontiac Trans Am. I just saw this vehicle race a few weeks ago at an event. So again, congratulations to Riley. Now, this vehicle, Lee Johnstone. Now, we went across the pond for this vehicle, a 69 Volvo P1800 gasser. That's American mixed with European, mixed with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of Monica on my side. Here is our 2022, last year's winner, the Texas 2. Craig Moe from Houston, Texas. Look at that. Little truck, but big wheels. And then it is Hot Wheels. That is your 2022 Hot Wheels Legends Tour winner. Again, at the end of this journey, there will be only one. Who will it be? Will it be Australia, New Zealand's representation? Will it be last weekend, Mikey Brown in Arizona? I got to tell you, there's some stiff competition, but there can be only one. Let's take a quick little snapshot. Go, roll the tape. This is who we're going to see, Australia, New Zealand. Let's take a quick peek at our contestants. Okay, that speaks a little Aussie, New Zealand to me. Oh, I know that car. Oh, what? Okay, weird one. That's a patrol. Okay, again, little old school. Don't love the box, but I mean, you're speaking Americana, classic FDRX7. You're seeing some box trucks. Ooh, nice paint. Will that transfer? Gotta love that E36. Oh, look at that, speaks to Lincoln's heart right there. That MX-5. And then, of course, big blowers. You guys love your, my dad does the meanest skids. I just remember that commercial. I just gotta put that out there, Mike. I know you showed me that video a few times. All right, Kevin, I want you to elaborate on one of the criteria. Which criteria do you want to pick? Because there's three, Kevin. You're in the Hot Wheels building. Authenticity, creativity, garage spirit. Which one do you want to elaborate about?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the creativity part of it, just because it's kind of my day-to-day, everyday job, and I think the creativity part of it, it's a very important to the Hot Wheels brand, obviously. Creativity can be in many ways in terms of how the car's put together, how it's executed, the story behind it, and how you tell that story based on your car. So there's a lot of ways to do creativity. I think obviously something that we always look into when we design a vehicle, whether it's a stock car or a race car or a fantasy car.
Yeah, and right, I mean, you've made everything from a shopping cart, right, to ramen or noodles or a taco. We talked about Ryo Asada.
Donut car, yes.
Right? Shout out to Ryo Asada. We lost him a few years ago, but obviously a legend in the Hot Wheels designing world. So you talk about creativity, authenticity. What the biggest thing that stands out for me is you see a car rolling down the street or at a legend stop, and you say, that car looks like a Hot Wheels. Your work's already done, Kevin. These builders have already done it for you, man. Just go ahead, sit back, lean back. That nice chair right there. Yeah. Well, authenticity, you say that car looks like a Hot Wheels. Authenticity, you talked about creativity, Kevin. And the last one is garage spirit. This is kind of the X factor. This is the unknown. This is, all right, the car looks good. It looks unique. It looks custom, crazy wild. It could be, rusted out. It could be very beautiful paint, the whole range, right? It could be high horsepower, low horsepower. The garage spirit is that story. It could be a father and son. It could be a high school. It could be somebody that unfortunately passed away and they built this vehicle as a memorial. That's the garage spirit. And I think that's what really kind of finishes and puts the exclamation point on the criteria. Authenticity, creativity, garage spirit. So keep that in mind to our judges here today, and keep that in mind for our viewers and saying like, I don't know, that car could have won. That car should have won. So our judges, are you ready?
Oh yeah, do it.
I said, are you ready?
Oh, you.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right, relax. Calm down. I said calm down. Okay. All right, so again, just to catch you up, you are watching our View from Home Hot Wheels Legends Tour Australia and New Zealand combo round in big partnership with the Big W and the Warehouse, where your custom car can become a Hot Wheels diecast. That is the journey that we are on, and we are ready to go. But again, broke down our contestant judging, submissions recap, our final deliberation, and then we'll find out who represents Australia and New Zealand. Without further ado, the first vehicle on deck, drum roll please, it couldn't get any more down under than roll the tape. A Holden, of course. We got to kick things off with a Holden. VL, I don't even know what this vehicle is, but I'm going to go to Jess Rye. Jess Rye, you're the artist, you're the designer. This is a Holden what? What is this?
This is a Holden, you got it, that's the one. This is the Holden.
Callis Walkinshaw? Mike, do you know this car?
Yeah, I mean, these cars are so iconic. Well, it's Australian built, obviously, but I think every Kiwi, every Aussie, whether it's a Holden Commodore and Ford, obviously have the rival through V8 Supercars, which is a top tier motorsport, and yeah, they're very popular on the road. But VL with the more sleeper lights at the front, I love the fact that this is garage spirit. We just saw a picture there of it from obviously when he brought it. It's been an awesome build, and just be able to come through from what was a stock car and then fully custom built Walkinshaw kit, supercharged, bug catcher, all the goodies.
Yeah, and you talk about garage spirit. This vehicle was built 20 years ago as our wedding car, sold and bought back 11 years ago. The khaki and brown, not so much of a wedding car, but yo, the blue, I mean, come on, look at the blower sticking out. This is a factory 5-liter Holden V8, 671 supercharger, 2500 high stall, 3-speed auto, LSD rear, airbag suspension, 20-inch walkie wheels, Wildwood brakes. I mean, it looks great. Molly, does this speak to you and say like it has the Aussie Kiwi spirit?
I mean, it's got the Aussie Kiwi spirit for sure. The Walkinshaw as well, the custom. I mean, Walkinshaw still run a team in the V8 Supercars here in Australia. So yeah, it's really got that local edge in all the ways. I don't know how what driving a 5-liter supercharged V8 is like with the 3-speed. That sounds like a lot of fun. Not sure if that translates into the model. I'm a bit more of a off-road JDM style myself, but yeah, in terms of a classic car for the Aussie market, this ticks all the boxes.
And that's what's really interesting, right? Like I have, like obviously I know what a Holden is, but there's certain vehicles like you go to Japan, you're like, what is that? I don't even, and I have to be blatantly honest. I was like, what is this? So I have to put it on you guys because again, I grew up here in the States and I love seeing these unique cars. And Kevin, I'll ask this later, but I'm going to encapsulate this. Don't ask now, because I just want to kind of quick fire go through these. But I don't think this car has ever been made into a diecast. Hold your thought, Kevin, because guess what? We're moving on to the next one. Love this car. Love this story. Talk about Garage Spirit. Here's our next car, and this is a drift rod. Follow me. My man, Levi Clark. Now, Levi Clark, if you don't know who Levi is down under, this gentleman has been through a lot recently. And I know Levi personally. He's been campaigning at S15 for numerous years. But during COVID, he dealt with cancer. He has, I just saw him at World Time Attack Challenge. He has a very kind of Ken Block inspired helmet with his brain, but he had a golf ball sized tumor. So he put, on his helmet put a golf ball in the brain graphic to celebrate his success over cancer and battling that. Garage Spirit, shout out to you, Levi. But this car, let's talk about the car. How cool is this? Because Mike, we talked about this car, or Lincoln. Lincoln, I'm gonna go to you, man. How cool is this car to you? You're sitting back. Wake up, bro. It's only 5 p.m. in the afternoon over there. It's midnight over here. Sorry, not Levi, but Lincoln. What do you think of Levi's car? We saw it there. What do you think?
Well, just looking at it, it looks very authentic. Looks like if you just shrunk it down, it looks like it would be a Hot Wheels car. So it's very authentic, and the Garage Spirit that ticks that box as well. Everything Levi's been through, and he literally built this car for smiles. So, yeah. And it's very creative as well. It's a drift rod, like you said. So, yeah, it's very unique in its own ways, and I definitely think I can see that being a Hot Wheels.
And it's a bit of a Frankenstein car, too, because it's got the Ford body, it's got a Chevy LS engine, and then the underneath of it is an S15 and a Toyota Supra rear end. S15 wheelbase, Toyota Supra front end for handling, and it weighs only 1,000 kilograms. Like, this is ridiculous. Kevin, I'm going to you. We talk about opening the mold. I don't think you've opened the mold on the drift rod, or I'm going to backtrack to the Holden as well. Let's break the mold.
I think I definitely appreciate this drift rod just for the fact that it blends the JDM and the hot rod vibe together. I think it's on trend for what's happening. My biggest thing about that car right now I'm looking at is those headers, how it kind of flares out. I think that detail translates really well in our scale, and I think it'll stand out a lot.
All right, so Jess Rye, you're looking at this. I want to see your custom paint job. Maybe we talked about his custom helmet. Maybe we do something custom on the paint, Art Deco, get Jess Rye involved. But I didn't ask your preference, JDM, Euro, Americana, Holden, Commodore. What does this car say to you?
This car literally says, I have everything but time on my hands. Like this car is like timeless for me. Like this car literally, like, it looks like it's talking to me in a way. You know, the headlights look like eyes. I feel like if I was a kid, I'd want to like drive this up into everyone's heads. And I feel like this is the most creative car that I've seen all day, to be fair, walking up and down the streets, in and out of these chats. I'm all for this. I feel like this is creativity out of 10.
It has a happy face.
That's good. I love that.
You can't complain about the headlights on the placements on those.
It's so good, right? And again, it's just, I mean, you see the staggered stance, talking about the understructure, like all of it. And again, just seeing Levi and seeing his family. I mean, just even the tail, you know, hanging off the antenna. Stage 4 brain cancer. That's how we're talking right now. So again, shout out to Levi Clark. Levi, I know you're watching. Love you. Thank you so much for all that you do for the world and just blessing us with this. Like Kevin said, the car's smiling. We're smiling for you. So, all right, moving on to something completely different from what we've seen, and that's what we're doing here. Authenticity, creativity, garage spirit. Next up, a Nissan Patrol. But unlike a Nissan Patrol you've seen before. Ready? Let's get that line lock going and let's launch it. Holy cow. 2,400 horsepower. And it's Joseph Borden. I apologize if I butchered your last name there. Joseph, from what I understand, he's still working on this car. Let's talk about these specs here. And what's really interesting about this car, and again, I know my man Chris Forsberg owns one of these, but it's kind of like OEM. Not like this at all. You can see those fronts tucked in. That speaks volumes because those backs out back, or the big tires out back. 4.8 liter, straight 6, and punch the capacity of 5.2 liters using a Nitto crank rods and pistons. The head is still standard. And that's what's really interesting here is it's not a Turbo LS, it's not a Barra, it's not, or even RB. You know, that's what's really cool about it is it's using the Nissan Patrol engine. It's got this short wheelbase street car that also races. He's done drag challenges in Victoria, been in Street Machine, and this is also a this versus that feature on the Hoonigans page. So, and also, guess what? He takes his kids for ice cream in this thing. That is one, I mean, he melts the ice cream before it gets home. Molly, you talked about being a JDM race car. I don't think this is a rally car, but I don't know. What say you?
Oh, but I mean, also, it seems like it spends more time on two wheels than four wheels. So I don't know if the four-wheel drive system is getting much of a workout. What a cool thing. I actually saw this last year. I went to Drag Challenge and saw this car in the flesh. So super, super cool, just fun car. I mean, I rally SUVs as well, so I'm all for that. We might need to do some work on the suspension. But I just like the fact that they've just taken something really out of, left of field of what you would never imagine and just done something cool because, at the end of the day, it's just about having fun with cars and what a cool way to do it.
Mike, what do you think of the Nissan Patrol, the drag car here? I know you're not a drag guy. You don't live too far from a drag strip, but I know you're a big rotary guy. But how cool is it? And I think you're a bit of a purist, keeping the rotary in under the hood of the Mazda. It's pretty cool that he kept the Nissan engine under the hood of this. But how does it transfer, you think, and will this make a good Hot Wheels?
Dude, I think this thing is freaking cool. I love the factory graphics, how they're being kind of redone, and just like a subtle way of the colors. I think the coolest thing, not as a Hot Wheels perspective, but as a real car perspective, how fun this thing would be when you've got that. I think it's like 2,500 horsepower, drag slicks. You got license plates to drive it on the road, and you've got parachutes hanging off the back of the thing.
I like how he still has the mud flaps on the front. Like you don't even. Yeah, you don't even need like the arches, like the plastic. This car is so cool. And again, this is one of those cars that sparks that like, give me the keys, let me drive it. But I don't know, man. That thing looks sketchy too. So you can go ahead. I'll just watch. Again, I'll stick to announcing. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Mike. We've already seen 3 cars, guys and gal. Hot Wheels Legends Tour continues, but it wouldn't be without our retail partners, Big W and The Warehouse. Head over to bigw.com.au, if you're in Australia, obviously, or thewarehouse.co.nz. That's right, I said it, Mike. Search for Hot Wheels, get the latest Hot Wheels range online, courtesy of The Warehouse and Big W. All right, it's time for 3 more contestants. Let's move right along. It's Hot Wheels, so keep them moving. Let's keep it hot. All right, so we have some very special builds. Next up, an R31 Skyline. That's right, R31 Skyline right here. Nathan Childs. Now, this is a drift machine, Australian delivered, slammed to the ground, custom metal flares. It does have an LS, so again, engine-wise, does that play a role? Kevin, I'm gonna go to you. It's bright, it's loud, it's boxy. The R31, it plays a special role in some people's heart. Not specifically mine, but I do love it because I didn't get to see a lot of them. Being in America, it's kind of unique. And then you look at the SS. Oh gosh, the wheel selection with the hood mirrors. Okay, now you got me. Now you got me going, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, definitely has the JDM vibe. The fact that it drifts is really awesome. Yeah, you don't see a lot of the R31s. I think it's not as common in the States, and it's not one of those kind of well-known versions of it. I definitely like the proportions of it. I think they did a great job of getting the stance right and still keeping that JDM feel to it. I dig it. Even with the fender flares, like the way they cut it short on top, I think it fits the vibe of the car a lot. I actually really dig it once I have a closer look at it. From a distance, obviously you can't tell those details, and you kind of miss those details. Once you get close up to it, I definitely dig it.
Yeah, and he calls this car, or he calls the color orange, yellow orange. So I don't know. There's no deco on it. So Lincoln, going to you. I know you've been absolutely pounded into your head that you are a Mazda guy, but do you have a special place for Skylines?
Yeah, I actually do like the Skylines a lot, but I definitely like this one. I like the color, the wheels, the custom flares. We actually saw these guys drifting in Australia when we were in Queensland earlier this year. And yeah, there's a whole group of them that actually go real mean. But this car, yeah, I actually really like it. And it's definitely unique. I don't really feel like I've seen much of that, especially with that unique color. But yeah,
Yeah, I think the flares. Yeah, the flares really speak to the kind of era. It feels like of era. Like it was built back in what was the R31? What year was that? Like 90? Like late 90 or early 90s? Excuse me, late
earlier
80s?
Than that.
Earlier than that.
So
figure.
Okay, I'm not a Skyline guy, but I feel like earlier than that.
So late. Let's call it late 80s. Let's call it late 80s, right? So I think again, all joking aside, the R31. You know, I'm a 34 guy, but I like this because maybe it's so exotic and you haven't seen anything like it. So you will see. Nathan Childs, regardless, amazing car. Got the heart of the American. You know, got the thump of the LS. So I love that. But will it transfer and translate into a 1/64 diecast? TBD at HWL, Hot Wheels Legends, that is. Next up, we have a vehicle that is all-American, and guess what? It's from Australia. This is a 1935 Ford truck, cab, and sedan chassis. Now, wow, silver. I mean, it is beautiful. This looks like the Rocketeer. I mean, this is a very unique custom car, a little bit of bomb style, got the wings out back. All right, so this is parts off of 68 cars. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought it's off of 68. No, parts off of 68 cars from 33 to 67 to create the custom look. All steel, backyard built, daily driver. I mean, let's zoom in there. Do we see any rock chips? Okay, looks, I mean, all right, there we go. Well, Bluey Boxell owns this vehicle. He envisioned it, or they contributed to it as a tribute to his childhood family friend and idol, Billy Swilborn. He looked up to Billy as a hero when he was a kid. Bluey says he had a big scar on one shoulder, and so he was known as the Scar. I decided to give the car a scar of its own on the left-hand side of the roof and name the car after him. So that's absolutely awesome. So car known as the Scar. Who do we go to? Let's kick things off with Jess Rye. Jess Rye, we talked about the uniqueness of our previous vehicle, talking about the blank slate. This thing, I feel like Kevin's job's already done, super unique. I feel like this is an American hot rod, but is this Australian? Does this truly represent the Aussie culture?
I feel like it translates into my culture for sure. I saw this thing, I was thinking the Silver Surfer. You know, like I could picture me on the back of it, surfing USA. The most part, yeah, this is sick. Like you said, it's the Rocketeer. Build it all out of steel. I felt like the fact that it's got the nice homage to the Scar as well. I thought that was quite nice. But yeah, I think the fact that it's made from so many cars, for me as an artist, that actually brings back into this tinkering mentality, and the compositive stuff. So you're always collaging and compositioning your things. So for me, as a Frankenstein thing, I think that sounds and looks awesome. So I'm all for this. The Silver Surfer for me.
I like the single spoke steering wheel, but also that shift knob. That speaks to me. Literally, it's a microphone. Get it? Microphone announcer jokes. Kevin, there's the Scar, by the way. Really cool detail. You gotta love that. Translating down into 1/64th. What do you think?
I think it definitely speaks creativity. The fact that he has to plan out individual parts from different cars and put it together to make it look consistent and flow together like that. I mean, that's a huge challenge that we, as a creative, we deal with almost every design, because how do you make things flow together? And he did a really great job. Super awesome details. That Scar on top of the roof, I think, is a unique detail. I think we could definitely pull that off in our scale. I think it's a huge creative exercise. I think it's a very creative car in general.
I will tell you that it looks so well done outside of the Scar, which is intentional. Yeah. That it's almost like, I say this jokingly for many years, but this is so well done that it looks OE. Everything
looks intentional. Everything looks like it's meant to go there. It's meant to be. And it looks very the execution of it is so planned out that it looks like it's supposed to be like that, which is awesome.
Mike, I see you. Mike, I see you on the edge of your seat. Mike, what do you got?
I want to say, as a car builder, this thing is all steel as well. How it has been grafted to be still so clean and all the lines match and all done in steel is freaking mind-blowing. Usually with, you'd add fiberglass and all that sort of stuff. But I think as an actual car build itself, it's great that Kevin can relate that over to the Hot Wheels in the actual 1/64th scale, but that's mind blowing that the whole thing is a shed built, you know, backyard and done in steel.
And you picked the one color that does not hide any mistakes.
Get out of my head, Kevin. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like the silver, you could just see it. It's like, all right, oh my gosh, yeah. It's like me wearing white. You could see what I had for breakfast. You know,
no hiding it. No hiding it.
I've also seen I've seen some pictures of it with a towing a caravan as well, like a similar custom caravan. So I don't know if that's something you can work your magic with as well, or we can have a 2-for-1
transporter series.
Accessory.
Oh, okay, look at it. I'll tell you what. Hot Wheels Legends has created some builders really coming out of the woodworks, and that's what we're celebrating here. Like it's really cool. Like I said, in Arizona last weekend, met this dude Mikey Brown. He won in Arizona. He built not only one but 2 vehicles. They're Isettas. If you take a look at Hot Wheels Instagram, a small one with the pan head had a V twin Harley. Just look at it. I won't bore you details. Not now because we're watching, but I love that Hot Wheels Legends is really bringing out some creativity out of y'all builders. So thank you so much for contributing, and thank you again to our judges. But I have to throw that in there. All right, moving right along. Vehicle number 6. Here we are officially at the halfway point, and this vehicle, Lee Small. Ready, Mike? Ready, Link? Boom. Here it is. Your Mazda No, you got ahead of me. Which vehicle? There it is. Yeah, you got ahead of me. That previous car was a Mazda. Now it is. FDRX7, full custom from the ground up, full roll cage, bridge seats, turbo, 450 kilowatts at 20 PSI. Beautiful looking car. Has been on the cover of Fast Forwards and Rotaries. I mean, this is as JDM and classic as you get. The blue setup, I believe those look like Oddvons. I mean, this is classic. Lincoln, I gotta go to you. You grew up around FDRX7s. That was the kind of the vehicle that got your dad into the building. See, I was right with Oddbon. How does this FDRX7 shape up? Obviously a little bit more OE than was it Mad Bull? Yeah. But what do you think of this vehicle?
Yeah, it's definitely, I can say it would probably be the most fun to drive out of the lot, but yeah, the color's really cool. I like that sort of light blue teal sort of color. The rims are really cool, the gold rims, and can't really see it, but I was looking at some other pictures before. Had the sunroof, which I thought was really cool, and a couple of other pictures with the hood off. But yeah, it's definitely be tough against these other competitors. But yeah,
yeah, it's got kind of an OE feel, which is obviously classic. Mike, is that the C West front bumper as I'm looking at, Mike?
Yeah, and like it's a super clean example of a FD. Of course, this is probably one of my favorite cars in the fleet. We've got a few of them now. They're an amazing handling car. But as Link said, like, does it have what it takes to be immortalized into a Hot Wheels? Like, there's just tough competition, you know? So, and I know Hot Wheels already have got quite a few die casts of the RX-7s. But the car build itself, I'm going to totally agree with Link that it's going to be the funnest car to drive.
Jess Rye, are you a Rotary fan? I mean, being, obviously from Australia, you guys love your wankles down there. Are you a Rotary fan?
Oh, we love everything, I grew up around a lot of these cars. A lot of when I was doing graph, a lot of these cars were driven around kind of burnouts to distract us from painting trains and stuff. But this car is very, very well known to me. Having the front lifted off like that, I thought that was quite cool. But yeah, as Link says, well, that Power Ranger blue color, I feel like it's one of those cars that hits my nostalgia. It feels like one of those cars you used to put in the freezer and come out and change its color. So yeah, for me, this kind of hits a bit of a nostalgic button for me. So I've got a soft spot for this baby blue.
Yeah, very, very nice car. Is it enough? Love the FDRX7. I feel like it's encapsulated. I feel like Mike is knocking on his door right now to see how much he's asking for it because it is a very clean shell. And all joking aside, let's move on to our next vehicle. Here we go. Car number 7. This is Joe Greg Carlton and their 1955 Holden FJ panel van. I'm a sucker for a wagon or a panel van. And you can see some slots there on the sides, that drop down. Never seen this car in the States before, so let's elaborate on it, chop it up, because it has been cut up quite a bit. It has a 3-inch chop top, upgrade to the engine, gearbox, and diff. It's painted Barbados green with a tricolor flame job, centerline wheels with that classic Americana feel, but again, keep in mind the Holden. The 9-inch forward shortened diff. It's got, what else? We got custom interior, flamed interior. I mean, the deco is super unique, and Kevin and Molly, I'm gonna go to you, guy and gal here. Kevin in El Segundo. Oh, I love that. That's kind of cool. The photos of the build inside. That's kind of cool.
The photos. Yeah. I gotta give him credit for the color choices. The fact that he picked a very traditional flame job, hot rod flame job, but a very untraditional color palette. I gotta give him credit for it. It stands out. It's nice and bright, but has that classic feel to it. So I gotta give total credit for the paint job on this.
And Molly, going to you, I feel like this is, you know, did you race two wheels, Molly? Did you ever race two wheels? I feel like, or karts? I feel like you're a karter.
I only am just getting into karting now, so that kart could definitely go in the back of that van. That would be super handy. It would make a very cool service truck. Yeah, I mean, obviously the attention to detail, both mechanically and on the outside, is really impressive. Love the blend of the Aussie car with that American hot rod feel. Again, you know, we've seen just some really out there designs and builds so far. Whether it's got enough to stand out from them, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's an awesome job, and you know, all that attention to detail. You can see again just how much passion people put into these builds, and it really does show.
And it's really cool. Jess Rye, you were talking about like the merging, you know, growing up around, you know, just all these different forms of art. I just, when I go to Australia, New Zealand, it has this really good blend of your own Aussie or New Zealand culture mixed with Americana, and that's what Holden and Commodore is, right? I mean, even in the States, people will put Holden badges or Commodore badges on their vehicles, right? We never got Utes, but I think Utes are so cool, and you guys are around them all the time, but you come over to the States, you're like, oh, what is that? I'm like, that's a Ford Raptor. You're like, what? Like, you have Ranger Raptors, but, right, Jess, right? I mean, talking about that fusion.
Even just trying to explain what a Ute is to an American, you can't do it. You're like, Ute? What's a Ute? You know, and you're like, I'm looking at this car and I'm looking at the colors and I'm thinking for me, that's the one thing I'm like blown away by. But equally the fact that it looks like a car that you can just kind of pick out of the road. You pick up with your fingers, you go, oh yeah, that's a Hot Wheels. So for me, it's like this like imaginative color palette. It just looks like something that would inspire kids for me. It actually feels like something I would have as a kid as well. But it's all the smoothness, and as like a creator, it's the smoothness and there's transitions, and it's how things that aren't meant to come together, and that's what I actually kind of like. And you can see that even in the paint job. So for me, like, this is a cool imaginative approach to a paint job and a fit out. So
yeah, it's almost to you. Look, I really love that detail. That's kind of fun there. Again, the build photos going up to it. I see a blank canvas here for our Hot Wheels deco designers as well. Looking at that big green slate panel van, doing some custom things. Could be ice cream, could be this, could be that. You know, I think that's really cool. So, all right. Well, we've seen 7 of the 10 vehicles. So again, thank you so much for joining us here. Hot Wheels Legends Tour, Australia, New Zealand 2023. Who is going to represent Australia and New Zealand? We are about to find out in just a little bit. We only have 3 more cars left. I'm Jared Deenda, again, voice of Formula Drift. Again, rocking that RTJ4. Shout out to Killer Mike. Again, this is a Hot Wheels Volcom collab shirt, so thank you so much again for joining us. If you didn't pick that up, Mattel Creations, check that out. I think it's sold out, but you never know. But want to thank our partners, Big W and The Warehouse. Check out Big W and The Warehouse. Of course, you can go to bigw.com.au or go to thewarehouse.co.nz. Search for Hot Wheels. Get the latest Hot Wheels range online, like the latest S2000. Looks so good. Again, got the AEM graphics on there. Got a race number. The build out's sick. This thing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. All right, moving on to our next and final 3 vehicles here at Hot Wheels Legends 2023, Australia, New Zealand. There can be only one. All right, moving on. Ooh, this is a hot rod right here. I like this. So don't see a lot of these vehicles down under or built to this degree. Tyrone U with this 89 E30 318i. Look at the flares on that one. Wow. All right, so now, again, talk about the Euro. Let's throw an LS at it. Again, engine-wise, you know, obviously part of the picture, but Kaiza actually installed this concept garage, Sydney assisted in the bodywork, installation of the Kaiza Live to Offend wide body kit. If you don't know Kaiza, an amazing designer, has worked on Ken Block's cars, has worked with, you know, multiple different designers over the year. He's a tremendous influence in automotive design. Shout out to Kaiza. And this is based off the, Michael, you'll like this, the Mazda Soul Red Crystal paint job. It also has custom, I feel like this is this the same color as Tony's MX-5?
Yeah.
It is, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. It also has custom forged 3-piece wheels from Heritage Wheel. Again, the car looks a little bit like a toy car. It's a little JDM, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mike, I talked to you about that color. Color, very striking, love it. E30, box flares, we both know Kaiza, how talented he is, that Live to Offend, that whole LTO movement, very cool. What are your thoughts here on this E30?
Yeah, I really love this car, and I know Hot Wheels always usually scream crazy rods and motors exposed and stuff, but I feel like this, with the stance, the soul red paint, and the fact like Kaiza, as you've already talked about, but Kaiza came from literally doing renders to now to reality for a kit to come to life. The stance, I've seen this car personally. Actually, I was in Australia not long ago as well and saw this car at the car show at World Time Attack. And the quality of the build from the engine conversion, the swap of all the diff and everything, interior. So as a real car, it's absolutely flawless, and I think it would make a freaking rad Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it looks really great. It transfers well. Molly, you're smiling. What's going on over there? What are you thinking?
I mean, the E30 is one of my favorite models of cars. They're just such a beautiful car, the proportions, and exactly what Mike said. We think of all these Hot Wheels, hot rods, which are awesome, but this is just such a spectacular car, and it's quite breathtaking. I think you want to kind of stop and look at it from every angle, and the car stock is such a beautiful car, and the way that they've done it to really make it stand out but not butcher it as well, I think it's really, really well done, and I would buy that Hot Wheels. Right, and what's really cool about it is we know that the E30 M3 is such a beautiful car, the box flares, but this is on steroids. Nobody was hurt in the making of this vehicle, but it was a 318. It wasn't an E30 M3. It's a 318. So pump it up, do something different, and then under the hood, it doesn't even matter because that won't really translate. I don't think the hood will be popped on this Hot Wheels diecast, but it does have an LS. So I think that just adds to the overall build. Tyrone, you, congratulations, beautiful car. Even if you don't win, not saying you're not or whatever, but beautiful car. Got to give credit where credit is due. And Mike, I saw this car at World Time Attack Challenge there at Sydney Motorsport Park in just gosh, was that 3 weeks ago? Holy cow! Not long ago. I don't even know. shout out to Ian Baker. Ian Baker, an amazing event out there. Wow, what a ride that was. But Tyrone, congratulations, beautiful car. All right, moving on to vehicle number 9. All right, first and foremost, Lincoln, get ready. Here, put on your judging hat. There it is, that big head of hair that you got. Again, your hair has grown so much since last year. Congratulations. All right, here we go. Chris Watson. Boom, there you go. Chris Watson. All right, Cyberpunk Roadster, been building since 2019. I've seen this, we've seen this car in person. He is from New Zealand, constantly evolving it over the years. Kaido Racer inspired fender flares, along with his own 15x10 turbofan wheels. I mean, this car has such a personality. I mean, love like the clear Lexan with the LED, how, again, the whole cyberpunk feel. Link, I know you know this car, the MX-5, near and dear to your heart, your first vehicle. What do you think of Chris's vehicle?
I've actually seen this before on Hot Wheels Legends Tour. It's definitely changed a bit since last time I saw it. Been evolving it, like you said. But I actually really like this. I think if I saw this as a Hot Wheels at the warehouse, I'd definitely buy this. I really like the cyberpunk theme that he's gone for. He's actually done all of the custom airbrushing himself. He's actually built the whole car himself in his rural garage, but all the little weathering details he's done, the carbon fin, the light bar on the back. Yeah, definitely really like this. It's also a good drift chassis.
There you go, nice plug. Kevin, of course, design, I mean, it has like old RX flares. The carbon fiber shark fin has like an 80s louver with that kind of Bosozoku front oil cooler with some Baja LED lights. The graphics speak to video games. Kevin, again, your work's done. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
I mean, and this goes to like top level creativity. I think the one thing that's going for this car is also its audience. Like it's actually appealing to the gamer audience too. I'm a big gamer. I do Cyberpunk 2077, so I know all about that vibe and that feel. So it definitely speaks to that audience, and I think it's a really great execution of taking a normal looking car and making it into something that's like out of the world.
Yep, well said. Jess Rye, give you a couple rattle cans and just go at it, or what?
Oi, rattle cans. Yeah, no, I'm salivating over this one. It feels like this is literally a car that I would see in Blade Runner or like or like even in my video game in the Keyboard Warriors. I feel like this is something that would be perfect for that. You know, it's something out of Akira. You know, this like Neo Tokyo like retro futuristic vibe, and like all the details as well. Like Link said, the weathering as well. Like you look at the fact that it's like he's brushed this used universe into it. The fact that you can see like elements of black and I love the ramen build too. I'm a sucker for a ramen build, so this is perfect. I love the creativity on this. This is something I'd play with video game with for sure.
You said ramen build. What does that mean to you?
You know when you watch those videos of like people packing in like 2-minute noodles and they make the best stuff out of it. Like they like fabricate their entire home or their car with 2-minute noodles.
Yeah.
For me, it's a ramen build, so the term we throw around. But yeah, no, this is quality. I feel like ramen's quality and even better tasting in this vehicle. So.
I love it. Hey, great description there. Those taillights, again, I really love that detail there out back where he removed the taillights, but again, it has that clear Lexan or Plexi or whatever it is with
edge
the
glow.
LED streaming. Yeah, I think that, what's that?
The edge glow taillights.
Yeah, edge glow. Thank you. The edge glow.
Out of the box thinking. It's great. Like the shark fin antenna thing in the back. Like great.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. Sorry, I don't envy you guys. Like, and I say guys and gal, but even that back fender. Sorry. All right, let's move on. Again, you guys got a lot to think about here. So our final car. Are you ready? No, we have to. Final car here. Let's go classic. Classic Australia, New Zealand. No, I'm joking. It's a 1966 Ford Mustang, but does the mean skids. That's right. Jake Myers, the Myers Bros. Look at that big blower out top. Whether you know it as the GM 176 or Sicko, the Myers family 66 Mustang is undeniably one of the most famed and longest competing professional burnout cars of all times. 4 Summer Nats Burnout Championships, now 4 Burnout Masters titles to its name. The coupe's rich tire frying heritage dates back to the first ever Summer Nats and beyond. Jake's only 26, but he's now competing in the Mustang for 10 years. Okay, so he started 16 years old. And again, tire frying, burnout machine, 4-time burnout master, father-son duo. I don't know. Who do we go to on this one? Somebody speak up. Who's excited about this? Put your hands up, put your thumbs up.
I
Go.
love the fact that I love the garage spirit of that car has been in the family and been handed down, because that would be a dream of mine if I could hand some of my cars down to Link. But this thing is freaking cool. Like I like the fact it's got no hood, and I've seen some of the Hot Wheels die-cast done before, exposing some of the motor, pipe work and stuff like that. The fact the car gets used and abused is really cool in real life, so that always transitions nicely into a Hot Wheels. Yeah. And then, the subtle flames actually. So it looks just black what you're seeing, but in the photos that were presented to us as the judges, there are some subtle like black on black flames, which I guess only come out in certain lights, which is a really cool effect too. Maybe that's like a color change thing or something that could be an effect on the Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets... Sorry, you go.
Go ahead.
Molly, go for it. Molly, go.
Just going to say that I mean, this has won a couple of championships too, so I feel like there's extra kudos points, maybe it can have some stats written on the box as well. So, you know, it's a build that's actually out there and competing. So that's a really cool point to it as well. And I think like I don't know if you can get the detail with the seats that are laid back like that as well. I mean, I don't know how that translates to driving, but you know, there's some cool details like that in quite a, you know, car that we know so well, but with these really cool effects.
So you mentioned family before as well. I can imagine someone pulling up next to me and just yelling family at me, like a really famous race car movie.
Family. Oh, got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Kevin, going to you as far as design, and this is definitely not a bullet car. This is, I mean, the way it's tucked and tubbed, you know?
I'm always looking for a classic Mustang. I mean, a notchback is also not a common one you see. You always go with the fastback, so a notchback is definitely kudos for that. If we were gonna do this car, I totally package it out in like white tire smoke just to get the full effect of this car. You know, you gotta get delivered the full experience of it in the small scale too. Yeah, it's a great looking car.
Yeah, sicko. Again, we talked about this, and again, garage spirit, authenticity, creativity. I mean, there's nothing more iconic than a classic 65, 64 and a half, 65, 66 Ford Mustang. Like you said, the fastback is so iconic, but with the hood off, the stance of this thing, it doesn't even, it looks fake, to be quite honest. It's AI. I think AI created this thing. Just the way it kind of squats, it's already pre-squatted, so it's a really cool car. So
even that hidden wheelie bar in the back, you barely see it, but it's there. It's great. It's a nice little stealth kind of a drag car for sure.
Yeah.
And the fact they got Wally in the front as well.
Yeah.
even better. A whole droid in the front.
Lincoln, what's the longest burnout you've done, buddy?
Probably that one at Summer Bash at the end of our drift train that we did.
That's right. That was pretty good. Yeah. Mad Mike Summer Bash. That's going to be awesome time. Again, I know you guys do sideways skids, not just the kind of summer gnats. So I love that. Looking forward to that. All right. Well, we saw the 10 cars, and I like I said, I do not envy you, guys and gal. But just to catch you up, you are watching the View from Home Hot Wheels Legends Tour 2023, representing Australia and New Zealand. None of this would be possible with our partnership with the Big W and the Warehouse, where your car can become a Hot Wheels diecast. Well, not at the store, but on the show. But of course, thank you to Big W and the Warehouse. You guys and gals and people of all ages, you submitted your vehicles. We chose 10 submissions, featured them here today for you to look through. Well, not you, obviously, we showed you, but our judges are scrutinizing authenticity, creativity, garage spirit. We just finished all viewing of the 10 vehicles. So here's what's coming up next, as the final deliberation is upon us, and then we will be announcing our winner. You can see right here, take a quick look back. It feels like just moments ago, kind of looked at it again, talking about some Holdens, talking about Commodores, talking about Levi Clark and the drift rod. We talked about the Nissan Drag Patrol. I feel like, I mean, that was less than 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. Talking about how beautiful, and I mean, just showing it in silver paint, the classic FDRX7. Talking about, again, the Commodore, the E30, shout out to Kaiser, beautiful paint. MX-5, which you all know, but nothing like that. Again, the family lineage of that Ford Mustang. And then now, again, our judges, thank you so much to Molly, Mike, Lincoln, Jessrai, and Kevin for scrutinizing our vehicles. Talking about our criteria, guys and gal, hopefully you've scrutinized it. Authenticity, creativity, garage spirit. This is something we pound and drill into your guys' head to understand both the fans watching as well as our judges. So again, please be sure to join us for our semifinals. Check out Hot Wheels Instagram and social media networks to make sure you're going to be there, either live or even in person. Well, we're not open up to people, but guess what? Next weekend, El Segundo, Hot Wheels, we're going to be there. But each judge picks their top 3 in ascending order. So again, top 3 from each judge. Judges, thumbs up. Make sure you're all ready. Are you guys and gallery? Thumbs up from everybody. So ascending order. You're going to go 3, 2, and then your number 1 pick. And our judges and our crew is over here. So let's kick things off with Kevin. Kevin, I got to start with you, bro. Because again, Kevin, again, give me your 3, 2, 1 right out of the gate. Who'd you say for number 3?
Number 3, I got Levi, the Ford Drift Rod.
The Drift Rod, car number 2, great car.
The 35 Ford truck.
Oh, 35, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going right for it. So Levi Clark's your number 3.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is the car number 5, Bluey.
Yep.
Which is the 35 Ford truck.
Yep.
And then hold on, drum roll please. And your number 1 is?
I gotta do the Cyberpunk.
The Cyberpunk MX-5.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was car number, I believe, 9, was it?
Yes.
All right. So and why that vehicle? Chris Watson and his MX-5. Why that vehicle?
I think it speaks to a whole new generation of car enthusiasts and also the car designers. I think it's more modern than we've seen typically, and I think it's definitely pushing the envelope more on the creativity part of it. And it's also, to me, like I said, it drives two audiences. It drives the hardcore car people and also video gamers and also entertainment people who like sci-fi movies. It has that kind of covers all those spaces with one design.
I love it. I was gonna save you for last, but I like to check things up here a little bit, Kevin. So let's shift gears. Great selections, and again, you guys had your work cut out for you. Jess Rye, going to you, man. Again, an artist, a creative, but again, you're number 3, you're number 2, and you're number 1.
My number 3, I'll go on the Silver Surfer, I'll go on Bluey Boxall.
Okay, so okay.
I felt like, that was such a good Tin Man Rocketeer vibe. Number 2, go on the panel van. Nice hit back at my my little surfy vibes when I was back in Sydney. And number 1, I'm going Cyberpunk. I absolutely agree with Kevin. Yeah, like absolutely agree with Kevin. I'm going. Wow. This is a new generation coming through.
I like it. Well, again, you guys are creatives, and you're taking a look at this, kind of taking all things into consideration. But there is 2 number 1 votes for that MX-5. Molly, let's go to you. What do you got?
Well, tough. Honourable mention to the drift rod. That was really cool. But I think for me, number 3 is going to be the BMW E30. That just has to get some points. The 1935 Ford truck is my number 2. And exactly the same as the other 2 judges. The winners, the first time I saw it, has to be the Cyberpunk. I think that for all the reasons Kevin mentioned, is just such a cool take. Every angle, everything you look at it, every time you see it, you see a different detail. And I mean, I hope that could all translate into a diecast.
I love it. Wow. I mean, Mike and Link, you are the last 2 left here. And I'm going to end on Mike with that, but I'm going to start with Lincoln. And again, you drive an MX-5. You guys didn't really elaborate here, but I love it. And again, like you said, honorable mention to Levi Clark, and just all killer, no filler, baby. So without further ado, Lincoln, I'm going to go to you. Give me a little elaboration there on your 3rd place, on your 2nd place, and then your 1st place choice.
Okay, so my 3rd place is going to be Levi's Drift Rod. I think, I don't know, I just could imagine that as a Hot Wheels, everything about it, the story, how it looks, very creative, very authentic. And I just imagine it being suit being a Hot Wheels very well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now your number 2 pick. Shout out Levi Clark.
Okay, so my number 2 pick is the E30. So I pretty much like everything about this. Just the paint, that soul red. I really like that color. The wheels, the fitment, the stance. Yes, everything about it. I love that style.
Yeah, it looks good. Again, the paint, like I said, it looks like your mom's MX-5. She's got that red paint. All right, now, last but definitely not least, your number 1 pick, Lincoln Wadette.
Probably not surprising, but going the same as everyone else, the MX-5 Cyberpunk.
All right, well, look at this. I mean, Mike, we don't even need to hear from you because you've been outnumbered, so you're out. All joking aside, like I always say, Lincoln, I know you have an MX-5. You've seen this car in person, but why this vehicle for you, man? I mean, let's call it what it is. You're kind of this target market. You're young, 16 now, right?
15.
15. You're about to turn 16 now.
Yeah, in December.
Okay. There you go. See, I knew that. I knew you were close. But why this vehicle for you, man?
It's just very creative, very authentic. It just ticks all of the boxes for yeah, our judging criteria. So it's authentic. Like I think that would suit being a Hot Wheels very well. I would definitely pick that off the shelf if I saw that as a Hot Wheels. It's very creative. I've definitely not seen anything that style, and yeah, it's obviously got the garage spirit because he's built everything in his own real shed.
All right. Well, and again, you definitely speak to that. Just kind of what Kevin and Jess Rai were talking about, just that new generation, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that wing is Formula Drift legal, that shark fin. I know Reese Millen tried to run one of those in Formula Drift years ago, and I think it got ixnayed. But I think it is cool. Mad Mike, last but definitely not least, you have multiple Hot Wheels available. Like I said, the Cosmo, you got the Transporter, Team Transport. I mean, you have so many vehicles, and like Link flexed on us at 15 years old, almost 16. He has a Hot Wheels before I do. But how cool is it to be immortalized as a Hot Wheels diecast?
Oh, dude, it's a dream because it's such a targetable audience, and even as a fan, as a collector, as a kid, they call them $1 cars because in USA they're $1, New Zealand they're $3 on our shelves. But it's so easy for people to get into, for kids to play with, and start their dreams. For me, the love of Mazda, came from little Hot Wheels, then obviously the sound of rotaries, and then, as you grow older, you're able to build real cars. But, there's customizers, this is all the stuff I think about when Hot Wheels produce a Hot Wheels car, or when they're producing one of mine, is also the custom ability to be able to, drill out the rivets and change the wheels and customize Hot Wheels themselves. So always thinking about that when it comes to the judging. And as you say, absolutely honored. We've got well over 10 of our fleet done. I've got, for the Hot Wheels collectors and fans that are watching, I have got a few more that are going to be released this year, which are really exciting. Of course, Jared, you just mentioned the one with the Transporter series and the Trouble RX3, which is probably my favorite one yet, I think. But yeah, there's some other ones coming out as well.
Super exciting, man. And again, love what you... Thank you so much to the judges. I'm going to have a proper send-off as well, but really, really brought the heat, and I think you get a good idea of who won here. But Mike, your 3-2-1. Hit us with it, please.
So number 3 for me, Tyrone's Beamer. I think it's super clean. The way it's been executed even from a render, of Kaiser doing the body kit. And then, yeah, from render to reality and creating such a clean car stance and everything's, yeah, awesome. I feel like that is definitely well deserved for my number 3. Number 2 and number 1 is freaking a very hard decision. Number 2. So number 2 for me is Cyberpunk. I agree with everyone on Cyberpunk. It brings everything. I think the biggest thing for me about Cyberpunk is that when Chris started building this car, these cars were only like $500. So it proves that you can still build a car with character, personality, style, all that stuff. And it's not about how much money you pour into the car. This car's been built by himself. All the wide body was done with, you've seen the pictures of it being done with foam and hand grafting. And yeah, there's just a lot that's gone into it. So it's definitely deserving of the win. But there was one car that just pegged that one off for myself, which was Levi's Drift Rod.
Yep. Levi's Drift Rod. Again, I think that's... The garage spirit is absolutely sensational, and I love that. And I assume that played a major role in the story, but also let's take the story apart. When a kid or kid at heart sees that vehicle on a peg with the card and the blister at their local Big W or the warehouse, right? That car still looks like, regardless of knowing about Levi and the stage 4 cancer, put all that aside. Would you, obviously it's your number 1. You would agree that it has that story, it's unique.
Yeah, of course, the story of Levi is super inspiring for many to, never stop chasing dreams, no matter what's thrown in front of you. But looking at the car itself, I just think it's so creative from, pulling JDM, we talk about it's got Toyota Super subframes in the front. It's got S15 stuff in the back. So we know it's going to be a good drift platform. The fact that it does get absolutely thrashed and punished on track, I think that's really cool. I think that's a lot of people own show cars, and we call them a trailer queen. They get trailered to events and they get showed for people to enjoy, of course. But I just think the fact that if you're building a car to entertain, get out there, have some fun, and just think way outside the box. And the biggest thing is, like, would you buy this if it was a Hot Wheels? Like, I definitely would.
Yeah, it's again, has such a great story. Levi, shout out to you. The 324 Pandemic Drift Rod, again, just such a cool car. Mike, that's your number one pick, but as you know, you're kind of a bit outnumbered here statistically, kind of calculate, do the math, but we'll get to that in a moment. We'll make it official here in a moment, but thank you to our judges, but thank you to Big W and the Warehouse. Shout out to our retail partners. Again, be sure to check out their websites, and again, check out the websites, pick up your most recent Hot Wheels. Like I said, the S2000 here. I'm looking at old Datsun Z wide body. I'm looking at Mad Mike's Cosmo. Oh man, is this Alex? Yeah, this is Alex Laughlin's Speed Society race car. Oh man, there's so many. I saw Diora 2 last weekend. I mean, there's so many cool cars. So again, be sure to check out Big W and the Warehouse. Thank you to our judges. Now, again, we first and foremost, again, thank you to all of you that submitted your vehicles from across Australia, New Zealand, and of course across the globe. We're whittling it down. Stay tuned. Again, go to Hot Wheels Instagram, find out when our semifinals are, and eventually our finals. So again, they will be moving on, and the winner of the Australia-New Zealand round will be joining the other Legend Tour finalists at the semifinal in November for a chance to have their car immortalized as a 1/64th Hot Wheels diecast. So, without further ado, check. Not a check, but a winner envelope, please. All right. And here it is. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1 as well. Finishing third, again, notable, Tyrone Yu, the BMW E30. Round of applause for Tyrone. Not advancing on, but still a beautiful car. Thank you so much. All right, and now for a tie in second, it's the blue Boxel, it's the 32 Ford truck, and Levi Clark. Look at that, the two Fords, the two round of applause, tied for second. And last but definitely not least, your winner of your 2023 Hot Wheels Legends Australia and New Zealand round is, I mean, you already knew.
The suspense is killing me.
Chris Watson and the Cyberpunk Mazda Miata. Congratulations. Chris Watson didn't win in 2021, but for whatever reason, you guys, figured it out and, paired up. It's just, I couldn't agree more. Mike, I know it was your number 2 pick, but you were outnumbered there, and I like to kind of, I think, hey, it's New Zealand proud, right?
Oh, dude, I love it, and the fact, like I said earlier, the fact that the MX-5 is such an attainable car in real life, and showing that you can execute, just the way you do things. The fact that it was done by Chris himself, with the basic tools he has in a shed, and created something that people can enjoy and smile.
Yeah, and he talked about the Kaido Racer inspired flares. Like, just there's so much inspiration here. Jess Rai, you're an artist looking at this. It feels like a model set. It feels so cool, and you could just buy this on that card, on that blister. And I'm excited about the deco. Like, again, speaking to the artistic thing, right? And that's Kevin could speak to that, as how much opportunity this blank canvas of a cool sculpt really has. Jess Rai.
Literally, yeah. Did you see the inside of it as well? Like, I didn't even notice the inside. The fact that you can feel like you're inside of it, inside a Blade Runner, inside of a sci-fi. Yeah, like, I wish more people would actually customize their cars to this extent, to actually have it street ready, and we can live in this Akira universe. For me, I almost want to see this have like a light ribbon that takes out other cars that drifts behind it, like Tron. But I love the fact that this ramen build got the win.
Love it.
Like, I want more people to customize their cars, to be honest. So if I had the guts to customize my car like this on the street, I would go for something like this. I'd go straight up cyberpunk. So I'm stoked that I get to have my kid potentially pick something like this off the shelf. So I've got a 10-month-old. I'm about to give her that. So this is really stoked.
That's awesome. Well, you mean you're the kid at heart. I mean, you're out there. You're still
I'm the 10-month-old.
You're still writing on walls. All right. So just right. No, this is no, definitely. Yeah, exactly. All right, Molly. How about that laser shooting out the back? Extreme E, right? Just like shoot across. Cyberpunk Miata. It was your top choice, Molly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. There's so much more, that this can do. And I mean, is that some sort of cooler radiator on the front as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's unreal. And I think, as Mike said as well, the fact, it's not a unattainable car that you can get. And just the creativity in this. We've seen, so many hot rod styles, so many JDM styles, but they've really got a mix of making it look like almost like it's alive. And kind of ugly, but also kind of pretty at the same time. And then, to airbrush the whole finish, but have it look like it's almost unfinished as well in process of doing that. It's just really cleverly done, the proportions and just the way the styling's been done. Kind of loud, kind of subtle. It's just, I absolutely love it.
I love it. It's super unique. It's you have this piece of canvas and he's just writing over here. Speaking of going off course, we're ready to shred at Lincoln. We're going off course. Mad Mike's Summer Bash, first weekend of December, but you're going to shred your own MX-5. How about this, Hot Rod?
I just again, that's very, very creative. Just like the big over fenders. He's made his own Aerodisc style wheels as well. And you really don't see much things that are like this style. So I think it's very unique and it deserves to be put in a Hot Wheels packet.
Yeah, those are very inexpensive taillights to fix, so maybe we need to switch up your car to those.
Yep, I agree with you, Jared.
Just gonna say that. All right.
Taillights.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. Hard selection, huh?
Absolutely. The diversity of all the car selections we had this time, it's mind-boggling. You cover everything from hot rods to cyberpunk, to cobble together vehicles from 65 different vehicles. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, Molly, Jess Rye, Link, Mike, see you guys in December. Mad Mike's Summer Bash. Can't wait to shred it till we dead it. Back at it like a track addict. Thank you to Big W and The Warehouse for joining us out here. Do you like that line, Jess Rye?
I love it.
Thank you so much. Again, be sure to tune in. We are talking about our global semifinals November 2nd. So if I'm speaking to Australia and New Zealand, check your local listings because obviously the time difference. But thank you so much for joining us out here. My name is Jared Dienda. Be sure to check out Hot Wheels Official on Instagram. Check out all the social media networks. Who will be our Hot Wheels Legends 2023 winner and be immortalized as the 164th diecast? That is to be determined. Again, tune in for the semifinals November 2nd. Just want to make sure you remember that date. Hot Wheels Official. I'm Jared Dienda. We'll see you online. We'll see you another time. Send it, Hot Wheels Nation. Thank you so much.